Hi everyone, welcome back to this week Weekly Market Update. Thanks for following my Facebook page and also enjoying this week video. So let's take a look at what happening on last Friday and last week, and then we will also talk about to recap of certain counter that we have shared over the last week. How do they perform, and also things to watch out for this coming week itself. All right. Lastly, remember to share and like this YouTube video and subscribe. So wherever I post a new video, you guys will get to be the first to be informed. And also, I'm coming up some new programs and new education video, hopefully to help you guys. Lastly, also want to thanks everyone who actually liked my sharing. That I actually graduated and passed to be a certified TA over this journey as well. Alright, so let's see what's happening on last week. As you can see that last week, last Friday, stock didn't perform as much as well as to the expectation after the non-farm payroll announced, right? So last Friday is actually a non-farm payroll day, whereby it actually reported 517,000 jobs in January itself. Alright, usually when we come to a high reports compared to the estimations, right, the market will surge relatively high. All right, because good news is good news, right? And unemployment rate also fell to 3.4%, meaning to say lesser people getting, more people getting working, lesser people getting unemployed, right? Which is also the good to the economy. But what causes the market to drop? If you look into the chart itself on a daily basis, right, or perhaps to a 1 hour basis, right, you can see that the market actually went higher before it closed lower. All right, the market after the earnings report, the non-farm payroll, it went higher and then it sharply recovered back. Main reason is because, right, when the job report is too strong, investors worried that the Fed will continue to keep hiking their rate. All right, as you can see that we are just passed by the FOMC, right? Fed Powell just say that they will only continue to raise another quarter of rate for the next, I think, next 2 months. Maybe it's a separate month, right? Next 2 times, right? I can say that. But with this high report and lowers unemployment rate, it seems like what Powell is trying to do to tame the inflation rate does not being so positive after all, right? That's why on the high side, when the good news announced, right, the market actually surged higher. Okay, but when things start to people start to digest on it, right, they are worried about the rate hike may continue, and this job report may be too good to be true. All right, it's wrote by this Julia, chief economy of this Zip Recruiter. All right, so ultimately, sometimes when the market is too noisy by all this news, right, we just study based on the chart itself to manage our risk from there. Okay, a couple of things which I don't really like for this rally, right, is because that earnings report from the company is not performing well, but the stocks go the other way around. Yes, we should always forecast in advance, right? That's why right now earnings is on the last quarter, and we should expect that the next quarter is doing better. But theoretically, it's because people fear of missing out the low price currently, try to enter it, try to buy the low, or does the economy really say that is the bullish at the economy right now? So, after all, if let's say you have managed to ride on this bullish trend for the last 5 weeks in Nasdaq, congrats to you. Certain of my counter which I recommend, right, also does perform extremely well. If let's say you have been following my YouTube, I hope that you have managed to catch one or two, and then you does benefit from there as well. Okay, so you guys can go and read about how does it work. All right, so this is what I don't really like. As you can see that Apple jumps 2.4%, reversing earlier loss after company misestimate on their top and bottom line. So a lot of these big tech company, right, actually their earnings report is not good lah. Take a look at their earnings calendar this week, right? We can see that we can see that this row is what they reported, the left side. The right side is the forecast, all right, EPS and revenue, right? So you can take a look at Apple. EPS is below the expectations, and the revenue is also below the expectation, but Apple spike up. All right, same goes to Apple and Amazon. Of course, during the day itself, it actually reversed back. Okay, so this is should be the correct way. I mean, the earnings is not doing good. Why would the stock go even higher, right? That is a bit puzzled. So is it because people fear of missing out, wanted to step in, or they are carrying too much cash, they want to find ways to buy in? So unlike Meta, Meta also earning per share is not doing well. Revenue is better, but Meta spiked almost 20%. All right, we can take a look at Meta. It spiked almost 20%. Okay, so let's take a look at the daily chart itself. Can you see it's a strong gap up, 23%. Okay, and then but the following day the market tried to spike up again, but it then reduced back. Reason being, right, firstly, this spike is not due to Meta is performing extremely well in their earnings report. As you can see, all right, earnings per share is not doing well, but it might be due to because Mark Zuckerberg announced that they were going to cut costs. All right, so in a company, I mean, if let's say you set up a company, if there's no profit earning, of course you try to reduce your cost by layoff, by stopping all the operating costs, right? So cut earnings will be always out greater than cutting costs, but cutting costs is not a bad choice after all. And also, Mark Zuckerberg promised to buy back their shares. I think a total up to 40 billion worth of buyback shares. This gives investors to believe that by buying back the shares, the stocks will actually surge even higher, and that what causes the market to surge or to gap up. So right now, the psychological level of $200 is almost there, and that's why the price did not break through. So if let's say today you are holding Meta shares, right, it's good that if you write at the bottom, which I mentioned, right, since the past 5 weeks, if you have right on Meta to go up, congrats to you. This is what I missed it. All right, I missed this opportunity. There's too many shares. I miss it because I'm looking between this support to buy a little in, but I didn't manage to get it. But I also do the update since I didn't enter doesn't mean I won't update, right? I will update you guys as well. So $200 fall nicely on the 38.2% Fibonacci. Watch out on this level. If let's say it show a strong resistance at this level, right? It will then make sense because why? Mainly Nasdaq is on the downside as well. I think it's here. Okay, Nasdaq is on the downside as well. Yes, we can see a break upward on a weekly chart. This is a strong bullish. All right, this is strong because it break the resistance, break the 23. Right now, it reaching the next resistance level, which is the 38.2%. All right, Fibonacci, right? Because we try to pull back. So two level I'm monitoring right now, 38 followed by this 50. Okay, which I stated previously, resistance at 12,000. Okay, so first resistance 12,000 break above, then we should see the next resistance around 13,000 followed by 13.8. All right, 13.7 thousand. So this is what I'm monitoring right now on Nasdaq. It may still continue because of the hype, right? Sentiment, but I can see that on the Friday earnings report, the market open, went all the way high, and then it closed below. All right, so this candlestick, we may see that for temporary, it will try to close the gap perhaps on the coming week, because coming week earnings report and the FOMC no economy data news, earnings report is not that huge compared to last week itself, right? So we may see some reversal before it continue to go up. Okay, so sorry. Okay, so this is what I'm expecting. I'm expecting some pullback on next week index itself. So if let's say it is dropping, do not go and buy at the high side of those stocks that actually break out. Okay, wait for some decent pullback, then we will re-enter or refocus where is our risk management as well. Okay, so this is on Nasdaq. Let's go into certain counter. So some counter that we have, I have went through last week, right? Such as this is chart point. Let's take a look. Where does chart point performing at the moment? Okay, so this is on a weekly basis chart. Let's take a look at weekly basis. Some small little upside. Okay, small little upside. It went higher and it pulled back. I think it's quite decent. I entered this due to my methodologies, right? Due to my own pattern, my own trading patterns, trading strategy. I entered. I guess I shared previously why I entered. So if you first to join us, the new user to join us, you can look back at my video. I did mention my method. Why do I enter or such? Why do I pick up on this anti-trend stocks to buy in, right? So next counter, which is fever. Okay, this is also one of the counter which I mentioned. Let's take a look. Yes. So I mentioned resistor 42.55, right? Previously we were at 37.26. Where are we right now? Okay. So we break the first resistor at 42 and we close above it. This is a very good news. We close above it. It's a strong, huge spike. Watch out, earnings is coming on the 22nd Feb, but concurrently, if Nasdaq is showing some pullback, we may also foresee some pullback. Okay, so this is what I believe before it come up. Okay, just nice at this point on the earnings where we lead us to. Okay, so this is heavily beaten as well on this counter. If you followed on the 28th Jan, all right, and then you should have secured yourself almost 20+%. Okay, 20+%. I think it's a very good risk reward if you have entered in. Next counter is Arc. Arc is also one of the counter which I mentioned. All right, 40.39 previously, eyeing at 49.93. Where are we right now? 42.85. So all right, it's still a good upside compared to last week. It's almost close to 6%. You can't sell at the top. We are waiting and continue right on it to hit our first resistance at 49. Of course, you want to take partial profit along the way by all means, but I will suggest that just respect your stop loss and take profit, because in long term wise, will be more wiseable, right? If let's say your take profit is always lesser than your stop loss, in long term wise in trading, you will tend to lose out. Okay, so this is what I believe in art as well. So few other counter which I'm monitoring for this week as well. Just to recap, one more counter which is CCL performing extremely strong. Okay, still on the way since 15 January, still on the way. I'm looking at $15 my first TP. Okay, my first TP is $50. Slow and steady. I like this kind of counter. One spike will then pull back easily. So this kind of slow and steady might be good. Okay, next counter. Just to share new counter for you guys. Hardly touch on currency, but I do monitor as well. So firstly, we'll be looking at US dollar. We can see some reverse. All right, some reverses candle. Okay, it's a very bullish reverses candle on last week itself. Main reason because we are actually reached the intermediate support previously, okay, at this level, and this candle is somewhat fulfill my trading requirements, right? My trading setup. So that's why it actually come into my watch list, like a flag, like a notice to watch out on dollar. Okay, so since this is a watch out on dollar, as a Singaporean, I'll be looking at Sing dollar, right? So for Sing dollar wise, this is what I shared previously. 1.3, 1.31 is a good support range to buy in. Okay, to buy in. To buy in. Okay, so right now, take a look at the longer perspective on the weekly chart itself. Okay, so this is why I mentioned 1.3 or 1.31 is a good price to nimble. So previously it have not touched. After a good spike come down, it touches. Can you see that? I mean, I just move it over. It touches. Okay, so if let's say you still remember this call, this chart, if you had convert your Sing dollar or if you have buy into USD against Sing, congratulations, this is a good point to pick it up. All right, but people who miss out this area, right, this candle is also showing a good sign. I mean, you can convert now or next week. It's at a good support area. It's at a good price to convert USD lah for Sing dollar at the moment. So if you haven't, then you can consider to do some conversions. All right. Next counter we will be showing on will be one last counter before I end the day. Roku. Okay, this stock is also heavily beaten, as you can see, right? If you want to buy in, you are against the trend. All right, the main trend is downside, we can see. But right now, due to some uh, candles pattern that actually fulfill my trading setup, I put Roku into my watch list. Okay, I put Roku into my watch list. So yes, he has been running a couple of days or perhaps a week, kept up, and the earnings on the 15th Feb. I think 2 more weeks later. So since this setup fulfill my trading setup, I will put into my watch list. I have missed out this part, but I will see whether the pullback come in before I will re-enter. So I will put Roku into my watch list. Next counter, we know that Tesla is performing extremely well. This just to recap, right? Remember, support area 120, support area 120 become resistance level. Okay, so $200, same as Facebook, psychological level. You need to successfully break above it. We can see a strong side. But will Tesla break? I think it stands a higher chance. Why? Because everyone, like I said, they wish to own a Tesla in their portfolio. Okay, which I mentioned lah. Okay, which I mentioned everyone's dream like dream to have a house perspective in US previously. So, but if you have long at this price around $100, it's almost 1:2, 2 times profit. All right, a double up. So I think it's good to partial sell off, partial reduce your portfolio, let the remaining to ride, or otherwise, if you want to hold throughout, just be careful. There may be some pullback. Okay, greed is the one that kill you off first. Okay, if let's say there is profit and it's 1:2, why not secure and put some into your pocket as well? So we are reaching on the resistor level for Tesla. Next thing, things doesn't seem well, which I mentioned previously. I shared 15 Jan. This is new. First resistance 12.15 followed by 20. So the price actually hit 12 and then it pulled back, close at 11.19 cents last Friday. Which is almost, from the week perspective, is almost close to 12% drop. Okay, 12% drop. So yesterday is a 6% drop in NIO. Reason being why NIO is not performing well, but the competitor is doing good. Firstly, if let's say the whole throughout EV is not doing well, especially where Tesla is at the bottom, right, you should consider Tesla as your first choice of EV to buy in, than NIO. Reason being, right, we always follow the big company first. Okay, then if let's say the big company good, we will then look into the minor company and they share the profit together. But NIO is not performing well. Reason being, they have reported their January vehicle delivery is declining. All right, this means to show that their sales is not performing well. They report lesser. But does it mean it's a game over for NIO? I don't think so, because I will still respect my support and my resistance level. So since it's below $11, it's no way closer to 10. Alright, it's no way closer to 10. The real support form at $9. Since it's not between 9 to 10, it's not there yet. I will wait for price closer to the support area before I buy in again. Okay, so but one thing to be considered, after all, this is a Chinese company. All right, I have read up certain news. I think things to watch out is that China, US may start to do talking again. Okay, when they talk, there's always a lot of issue, right? So I think I came across, but I didn't really share. You guys can go and Google. I think of what China balloon over. Okay, they postponed the China trip because of this Chinese spy. This China US era may float once again, and it may cause it to be not doing well in the Chinese ADR shares. So monitor closely. If you want more confirmation, reverse back, break above $12, that is where you enter in. Okay, otherwise, if it doesn't break above 12, then stay on the sideline. If you want to enter around 11, 10 plus, which is close to your support area, it's a very good risk reward. You can buy a small sum and put a very strict stop loss to protect yourself. Alright, so that is my take for Neo. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this week weekly market update. I will see you guys next week. Remember to share and like this video. Hopefully you have gained something from here today. Thank you everyone. Goodbye. Enjoy your weekend.